Greetings, people of Earth. I bring forth a transmission from a video game that is sure to hold nostalgia for thousands of males and females out there. That game would be Destroy All Humans. Released in 2005, I was but a mere sapling when my parents bought this for me. Still new to the world of video games, I never got that far even after it was re-released for the PS4. Then I purchased the remake that came out in 2020, only for it to sit on my shelf collecting dust for years. One day when I was scrolling through my backlog, I stumbled upon Destroy All Humans and figured it would be a nice nostalgia trip for you guys and myself. However, I wanted to make this interesting and platinum both the original Destroy All Humans along with the remake. This isn't the first time I have platinumed a game twice, but with many upgrades made to the remake, these two experiences felt unique enough that the journey never felt tedious. At least in the beginning, but I'll get to that later. For now, we have two games to cover, so let's begin with the trophy breakdown for the original Destroy All Humans. The time it took me to platinum the original game was not that long. Taking into consideration the cheat codes I used halfway into the game, it took me roughly 7 hours to finish. With the trophy list, we're looking at 19 bronze trophies, 15 silver, 3 gold, and a platinum, making for a total of 38 trophies. Our story begins when Cryptosporidium 136 travels to Earth. His saucer is hit by a rocket that is being tested by the military, and we take control of a clone, Cryptosporidium 137, or Crypto for short. While our mission is to rescue Crypto 136, the overall goal is to study and collect human DNA to preserve the Furon race. Without genitalia, cloning is the only way they can survive, but their genes degrade with each clone, setting up the story for Destroy All Humans. Our first destination is Turnip Seed Farm to survey the different life forms that inhabit Earth. With only one mission, we learn to scan thoughts, use psychokinesis, extract brains from humans, and cause mass destruction with our saucer. I got a trophy for completing this mission years ago, but there's surprisingly a lot more that makes up Turnip Seed and its subsequent locations. Each location we visit comes with different side missions that are mostly the same wherever we go. I was always guaranteed to destroy the city, perform an on-foot race, or kill humans. I did the 4 that were in Turnip Seed.
Good work, Crypto!
And moved on to collect all the probes in the area. There were 25 of them here and revealed just how big this map was. The many times I started this game, I only stayed on the farm because that's all I thought was there. I had no clue how big this map really was. After collecting the 25 probes, I went to Rockwell looking for a human to question. Everyone seemed obsessed over someone called Miss Rockwell, making her the prime candidate for questioning.
Man, oh man, she may be the dumbest Miss Rockwell ever. Check out them cantaloupes. God, I love America.
This mission introduces a new mechanic called Holobob, giving me the ability to create a holographic projection of whoever I choose. This also ties into a trophy that I kept up with during most of the game, where I had to assume 40 different identities. Depending on how one plays the game, most can be obtained naturally. What makes this trophy missable are the NPCs that are specific to different missions, like Miss Rockwell or the Mayor. This was the only trophy where I always kept a guide up to keep track of who I needed to holobob. It was going to be a while before this was unlocked, so I'll come back to this trophy later. I lured Miss Rockwell back to the saucer, proceeded to take care of the probes, and completed all of the side missions.
Good work, Crypto!
After the mayor discovers us, we impersonate him to assure the citizens of Rockwell that nothing fishy is happening in the good old USA. Now we get to party it up on the West Coast. In Santa Modesta, we're looking for an alpha male that would give us some insight into human society. Scans from the citizens point me to a pool party hosted by the mayor. He's the exact opposite of who we're looking for, so we crash this party and acquire the best weapon in the game, the disintegrator ray. I also found out the hard way that water kills Crypto instantly, which has always been a baffling design choice to me, no matter the game. Back on my feet, I took care of the probes and side missions. Santa Modesta introduces a secret organization dedicated to protecting Earth called Majestic. After some brainwashing and destroying majestic convoys, we take a G-Man to the saucer for interrogation. It's back to Rockwell one last time to brainwash the people there, before wrapping up what's left in Santa Modesta. We take Burt Wither, a popular TV broadcaster, as a hostage and protect him at SMCBS as he reveals the existence of Majestic to the world. It's an overwhelming fight as I protect transmission towers from army grunts, tanks, and eventually robots.
They're deploying tanks and good lord, giant robots! We cannot survive for long!
Despite the military throwing everything at me, the mission was a success.
May Providence smile upon us all.
Before heading to the next location, I want to talk about upgrades and cheat codes. Starting with the latter, I knew I was going to enter cheat codes at some point since one of the trophies actually required it, but it was the previous mission that finally made me do it. The three that I primarily used were unlimited ammo, invincibility, and unlimited psychokinesis. I think it's been such a long time since I played a game with cheat codes that it felt wrong at first. But that feeling quickly faded when I no longer had to worry about finding ammo or restarting the entire mission if I died. It was annoying having to enter them after each mission, but it was a small trade-off to have unlimited power. There is one cheat code though that would disable a trophy where I had to collect a total of 50,000 DNA. There are a few ways to do this: extracting brains, completing side missions, or collecting probes. This is another trophy I will discuss later, so let's move on to upgrades. After certain story missions, upgrades to different weapons, PK abilities, and the saucer will be available. At this point in the story, I had enough DNA to fully upgrade the death ray on my saucer.
Hey, good to go.
Zap-O-Matic.
I expected more.
And disintegrator ray.
Well, if that's all you have to spend.
My next destination is Area 42, where I discover the fate of Crypto 136.
Okay, monkeys. You want a war? You got a war.
I was mad. No, I was furious and needed to blow off some steam. I let loose on the military base with my saucer, giving me a trophy for completing a side mission with a bulletproof crypto cheat enabled.
Good work, Crypto!
I continued my rampage in some side activities, one of which I raced cows for some reason.
Good work, Crypto!
And continued collecting probes to become even more powerful against these pitiful humans. But this still wasn't enough. I continued my killing spree, amassing a total of 1,000 humans killed. But that was just a sign of mercy. For 250 unlucky souls, their brains were painfully extracted from their skulls. Their carbon-emitting metal contraptions weren't safe either, with 500 of them being destroyed. Okay, time to get back on track. Back in Area 42, the army plans on testing a nuclear device. Escorting it to the military base, we put an end to this place once and for all. Taking my saucer for a joyride, a strange device from a nearby town strikes me down. But these humans can't hold me back for long. I escape their captivity and get my ship running again. But the usual stuff needed to get done.
Well done, Crypto! Those brain stems should be more than sufficient for my research and testing purposes.
With a ton of DNA, I went back to fully upgrade my ion detonator.
Well, if that's all you have to spend.
Psychokinesis.
Good to go. Don't use it all in one place.
And sonic boom.
Expected more, but I suppose that will have to suffice.
On the search for a secret military base, I make my way to Capital City, looking for the military leader, Armquist. We find him at the Octagon, conversing with a mysterious figure who's plotting something big. I had to get to the bottom of it, but there were a couple of things I had to take care of. These pesky robots have been a pain in my side ever since Santa Modesta, so I destroyed 50 of them who had the gall to get in my way. Remember earlier when I told you guys I had to assume 40 different identities? Well, I was finally able to finish that up, and I want to go more in depth with this trophy. I mentioned NPCs who were only available during certain missions, but the tricky part was with some of the normal NPCs. Most of them are very similar, but some can be seen with different assets which would count as a whole different identity. Let's take these majestic agents for example. There's one that holds a shotgun and another that holds a pistol, and those count as two different identities. Now this does make sense, but it was weird when it came to tracking them. If it wasn't for the guide I was following, there would have been a handful of NPCs I missed. However, with this trophy out of the way,
Warmonger and infiltrate Armquist's meeting.
it was time to put a stop to Armquist. Despite being in a mech suit, he was no match against my powerful arsenal. Before heading back to Capital City, I had some literal beef to take care of. These disgusting gas bags made me sick, so I tipped 100 of them. While I'm at it, I may as well talk about the 50,000 DNA trophy. After fully upgrading a few weapons, this made up roughly 20,000 DNA, so I needed close to 30,000 before reaching my goal. I did collect the remaining probes in Capital City, which gave me another trophy for collecting all probes in the game, but that was nowhere close to what I needed. I messed around with a couple of methods like extracting brains from mutants, but I was not trying to break my thumbs from mashing the face buttons, so I stuck with the most common method for obtaining this trophy. In Rockwell, there's a side activity called Rockwell Barbecue that rewards a few hundred DNA in a matter of seconds. It took a good hour of replaying this side mission over and over again, but once I got the rest of the DNA I needed,
Good work, Crypto!
I upgraded the saucer's quantum destructor
I expect, well, if that's all you have to spend.
and headed back to Capital City to finish the game. The president thought an ambush could stop me, but little did he know it would be his inevitable downfall. With America's most important man dead, senators are scrambling to vote for a new leader, setting up the perfect opportunity to take out 50 of them. After discovering Silhouette's true identity,
You're a chick?
we fight a giant robot with the president's brain and take out Silhouette, who reveals there are more humans out there, setting up a sequel. We take the president's identity and save the Furon Empire, finishing the game with 100% completion. The last thing to do was one final side mission that unlocked after finishing the game. I demolished Capital City, destroying all its famous landmarks, wrapping up all the side missions here,
Just what we needed.
giving me the platinum. We now move on to the Destroy All Humans remake. Released in 2020, this is pretty much the same game you remember from 2005, but with improved graphics and numerous quality of life changes. While there were a few technical issues that brought down my enjoyment with this version, this is still the best way to play one of the classics from the 6th generation of consoles. This version of Destroy All Humans comes with a surprisingly easy trophy list compared to the original. It does have a couple more trophies, but with slight changes made to the mission design, it took me a bit longer to complete, coming in at roughly 10 hours. The remake for Destroy All Humans comes with 26 bronze trophies, 11 silver, 3 gold, and the platinum, making for a total of 41 trophies. Jumping in, I was surprised when the very first trophy I popped stemmed from my curiosity. I was exploring the menus and saw that I could equip Crypto with different costumes, so of course I messed around with those that were available.
I'd be happy to share them with you, if you've got something for me in trade.
I proceeded to invade Turnipseed Farm and learned how different this version of Destroy All Humans plays compared to the original. The gameplay has been completely revamped, resulting in a smoother experience from top to bottom. As new abilities were being unlocked, I was earning trophies at a pretty good rate on Turnipseed. The first essential ability I learned was extracting brains, and I accelerated the process by mashing square like I meant it.
You can consume the brainstem and collect.
That brain was then used to kickstart my shield regeneration.
Harold, come on back! You gotta see this!
This first mission also introduces optional objectives, encouraging me to complete mission objectives in ways I would not have thought of. Seriously, who thought of killing the farmer's wife with a chicken? After this mission was complete, I was transported back to the mothership. With enough DNA, I gave Crypto an upgrade. Rockwell was the next destination, but I took care of an abduction challenge that was available in Turnipseed. When it comes to the challenges in the remake, a couple of them will be familiar, like the racing and rampage side missions, but this one is completely new. With the way psychokinesis works here, abduction has us abduct humans or other objects based on the area the challenge is in. Turnipseed, for example, uses cows, so I had to throw them under a beam from the mothership. Pretty straightforward. Completing this gave me a trophy for revisiting a missionless area to complete a challenge.
I can see very moving data points in the future.
I got another trophy when I randomly picked up and destroyed a human with my PK ability and destroyed another one with my weapon at the same time. As you guys can see, each challenge comes with 3 stars to achieve, which is going to be important for a couple of trophies. It took a minute to get used to how the PK abilities work here, so I did this challenge a couple of times until I reached 3 stars.
I can see very moving data points in the future.
Before heading out, I was glad to see that the probes returned here, but there was only 1 trophy tied to them, which I got after recovering a single probe. Even though I only needed 1 for the trophy, I did collect all of them as I visited each area to give me some more DNA. To wrap things up, the last trophy I got in Turnipseed was using PK to kill 1 human with another. I proceeded to invade Rockwell and unlock the ability to holobob. The way that it looks here was extremely satisfying. Having an exact copy of the human I'm impersonating felt right to me, and the way that it drains looked so cool. There is also more feedback that lets me know if my holobob has been compromised, a gripe I had when it came to the original. To keep this disguise up longer, I just had to scan someone's thoughts.
It's a good day to use excessive force. Heck, every day is a good day for excessive force.
After bringing Miss Rockwell back to the saucer,
God, please, no. Oh, it tickles.
It's probing time.
I destroyed the fair, giving me a good taste of the mayhem I could cause. The improved explosion effects, along with the burn marks left on the ground by my death ray, made the destruction feel more realized. The abducto beam makes a return, allowing me to grab anything off the ground and throw it at something else. As I was throwing stuff around, I happened to destroy multiple humans with a human-made explosion. After completing the subsequent missions in Rockwell, I had enough DNA to upgrade an ability on my saucer and invaded Santa Modesta.
Crypto, the first thing you should do is...
The first mission gave me the disintegrator ray, and the way ammo is collected takes a note from Destroy All Humans 2. I can transmog objects around the environment for ammo, which I did shortly after unlocking this weapon. A couple of missions later, when I destroyed Majestic Convoys with my saucer, I learned about the Repulsotron, something new to Destroy All Humans. This destroys missiles at close range, giving me a trophy shortly after learning this.
Use your Repulsotron, Crypto! Destroy those incoming missiles!
Another feature that was brought over from Destroy All Humans 2 is the ability to drain vehicles, which replenishes my saucer's shields. It was then time to complete one of the more difficult missions for me, where I had to defend 2 transmission towers from the army. While I unfortunately could not use my saucer, I did have a new dash ability, which I used to evade a rocket. With Majestic exposed to the world, that wrapped up everything in Santa Modesta. My next invasion site was Area 42,
I'm on it.
where I discovered the fate of my fallen clone. From this point on, the trophy started to slow down for a bit. The only one I got here was for throwing a human into the air and juggling them, which I thought was pretty funny. Something to note is that there is another mission in Area 42 where we sabotage a saucer the military is creating. It had been a good couple of months since I played the original at this point, so if I did not look at my gameplay, I just would have assumed this was part of the original game. After doing everything in Area 42, my saucer was shot down over Uniontown, where a couple of missions are set. After I got my stuff back, it was off to Capital City to find Armquist.
I knew it.
He heads back to Uniontown, where we fight him in a giant mech. This is the first major boss fight and is handled slightly differently from the original, as he has 3 waves and a couple of extra attacks. I also could not rely on cheat codes, so it made for a tough but much more fulfilling boss fight. Returning to Capital City, I killed the president and a few dozen senators before hitting a roadblock on the final mission. I was upgrading crypto so much that my saucer was very underpowered against the fight with RoboPrez. I wanted to be OP when it came to the final fight, so I set the final mission aside and took care of the game's challenges. Before doing that though, I want to talk about some of the miscellaneous trophies. On the mothership are a few menus to explore, and I got a trophy for exploring the more offbeat parts. Sometime during the Uniontown missions, I had enough DNA to fully upgrade an ability tree, which happened to be Psychokinesis. And I set something on fire, then used it to destroy a hapless human, along with abducting a cow with my saucer. To get more DNA, I completed challenges that I needed for another trophy. For the most part, it was going smoothly. The first thing I did was ace a race with 3 stars, which was easy on Turnipseed after fully upgrading my dash ability, letting me skate for an infinite amount of time.
That was close. What caused the drones to go haywire anyway?
The third challenge is Rampage, which plays out the same as the original and was one of the better challenges. Killing specific targets in a certain way earned me more DNA, which allowed me to ace this challenge with 3 stars.
As I suspected, Crypto, the humans are just elaborately evolved sacks of meat.
I moved on to the final challenge type with Armageddon. Utilizing my saucer, I have to cause as much damage as I can while draining specific cars for more DNA. After acing that challenge with 3 stars,
That should get the stink of this fresh air off of you.
I earned another for obtaining 2 stars in each challenge type. I kept this loop going for the next couple of areas, even farming for DNA during a Rampage mission on Santa Modesta after a few upgrades. However, Area 42 is where the problem started. During the race, I was extremely confused about why I wasn't getting 3 stars. I was collecting all the DNA I needed and felt like I was doing it in a good amount of time. When I stopped to look up this challenge, I ran into a very big glitch. My game crashed as I was restarting the challenge, which did not seem like a big deal until I booted the game back up to find my save file was corrupted. I was flabbergasted, and with no cloud saves or anything, my only option if I wanted the platinum was to restart the game from scratch. All of the progress I made was completely gone. I was pissed. Like debating my life choices pissed. But I took a breather and put a hold on all the projects I was working on. I knew I would not get anything done, nevertheless enjoy what I was playing in this mindset. Thinking it would be a while before picking it back up, I started a new save file the next day, but I made sure to take heavy precautions. For whatever reason, it would not allow me to upload my save to the cloud, so I went old school and saved it to a thumb drive every chance I could. Over the next 3 days, I played the story again and did the farming method I mentioned before while upgrading only the abilities and weapons I felt were necessary for the final mission. I played all the challenges again and made sure to back up my save after completing each area. From here, a few challenges were slightly difficult, like abduction in Area 42 and Uniontown, along with another race in Capital City. It took roughly an hour to wrap up the ones I did not get to the first time around, but it felt so good to ace every single challenge. With hope for the platinum building back up, I took care of some additional challenges, starting with a feature I wish the original game had. In the saucer, I can revisit missions to rain further destruction with an upgraded arsenal, or complete optional objectives I missed the first time around. There is a trophy tied to this, so after completing all the challenges, I revisited a couple missions to get this done. As I mentioned at the beginning, the optional objectives add a fun layer to these missions and encourage me to use my abilities in unique ways. This could range from escorting Miss Rockwell to the saucer as the mayor, sneaking into a restricted area undetected, using grenades to kill soldiers, killing a police officer with a majestic agent, killing a majestic agent with a police officer, or killing the president with an explosion. Each mission comes with a couple of them, and I took care of the ones I needed to do before completing the final mission. Before jumping back in, there were a couple of miscellaneous trophies on Santa Modesta. I displayed my Furonic aeronautic prowess by soaring through a giant human pastry without soiling my feet.
Like that'll happen.
Then I demonstrated Furon free spirit near a warning sign placed by the human authorities.
Take me out! Take me home!
To my surprise, almost everything was fully upgraded, giving me the ultimate power fantasy against RoboPrez. It did not hold back, but I could stand my ground with all the upgrades made to my saucer. Sending all its bullets back when firing the sonic boom was extremely satisfying. After it was defeated, I fought Silhouette in a quick and sweet final boss, capping off this unexpectedly long journey. After her defeat, I got another trophy for completing all optional mission objectives, giving me the platinum for Destroy All Humans again.
Good evening, my fellow Americans. In recent days, rumors have run rampant of flying saucers, alien invaders from other worlds, indeed, of my own demise.
After 20 odd hours and 79 trophies collected, I have platinum Destroy All Humans not just once, but twice. It has been a blast experiencing a game I played very little of back in the day. The original honestly surprised me with how much it still holds up today. Some gameplay decisions are a bit dated, and the dialogue can catch me off guard at times.
Reminds me of that time I accidentally took that debutante home from the club instead of my wife. Boy, was that embarrassing.
But there is a charm that I feel the remake mostly lived up to. Even with a nasty glitch ruining all the progress I had made, I am willing to overlook that, as the experience beforehand was fun to play through. All the changes to its gameplay helped to make this a worthwhile experience, and I would highly recommend it for those who are playing it for the first time or revisiting it after playing the original. Just make sure to back up your saves occasionally. While I have played the original version of Destroy All Humans 2 at the time of making this video, I have yet to play Reprobed, so I am very much looking forward to that. That wraps up the video. Thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed. What are your thoughts on Destroy All Humans? Did you play the original back in the day? What about the remake? Make sure to leave a comment down below. Please be sure to like and subscribe to the channel if you have not already. See you guys next time.